Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of In Session. Here we are back in session wearing suits, joined now by my colleague Murray Mandryk. I'm Dave Fraser. We had the first day yesterday with new Premier Scott Moe facing off with the new opposition leader in Ryan Meili. What did you make of the tone yesterday there, Murray?
Well, that was really odd, that first question about where can we find common ground. Yeah. I sat in this place where the first question was, what did you know about the MLA killing his wife? Like, I mean, honestly,
it's a little bit more intense.
It's a little bit more intense than it was. And I guess that there was a very much a deliberateness on the part of Meili wanting to set a different tone and a more constructive tone. Frankly, I think politically it's a good strategy. If you're seen as not being very palatable for whatever reason politically, right, being a little too far off the spectrum one way or the other, sending a message is this is how we should be able to cooperate is a good sign. And maybe it's a reflection of their personalities more so than we've seen in the past in the two leaders.
Right, it's this new style of politics that we've heard Mr. Meili talk about quite a bit that he's trying to put forward, and it sort of fits in with this idea that he's trying to create a movement outside of the legislative building just as much as he is here in the building. Do you think it lasted very long during the session yesterday?
No, but one question, but that's fine. I think there were other things, as you point out in your story. There was less heckling, there was less desk banging, there's less general stuff. These are MLAs that have been around for a while, so they're not going to be able to help themselves and or change overnight. So they're going to return to normal pattern, which is to respond in political kind. And I somewhat question the sincerity of the opening salvo for consensus, because he immediately went into the jobs numbers. And as we know, there's only so much governments of any stripe can do on job numbers, including NDP governments that didn't have such a great job creation record themselves. But if this is a new notion of doing things differently, I think it was somewhat refreshing, and I kind of look forward to seeing a little bit more of it.
Yeah, and how long it will last will be interesting, because as you point out, there's certain MLAs who literally seem like they cannot help themselves. They're just, you can maybe like sitting on their hands or something, or zip tying their faces would help.
Well, we have a new speaker in Mark Doherty yesterday after that really interesting leadership race, or speaker race.
7 people ran for speaker, highly coveted job. More people ran for speaker than ran for the NDP leadership.
Yes, and I guess that's kind of interesting. It's a good perk job. I think that he set a tone that maybe we should be a little bit more cooperative, and maybe that's a good thing. So maybe this place will be different. Who knows? We'll see next week.
We'll see next week, and we'll see you next week on another episode of In Session. Thanks for joining us.